Karina here, talking about making babies, 21st century style. And 21st century style is not the name of some wacky sexual position. This is the serious business of making babies. We're talking about freezing those eggs, ladies. Dr. Gillian Lockwood recently told a fertility conference in Glasgow that women of what the press is calling the Bridget Jones generation should get freezing and store our little eggies away while they, since they age with us, are still young, in case we've decided to put off our baby making for a little money making first. It seems in this case, fresher isn't necessarily better, and a woman has a better chance of conceiving if she uses an egg from when she's younger. There have also been some interesting technological developments to help those chances. The latest methods out of Japan involve freeze drying your eggs. Yeah, just like that astronaut ice cream you used to eat when you were a kid. Okay, not really. The technique involves removing all the water from the eggs during freezing to avoid the formation of pesky ice, not just an annoyance for your freezer and large ocean liners. But even if you are freezing your little potential dudes and dudettes, if you're in the UK, you don't want to put off dropping the sprogs too long. Many in the medical community want to put an age limit on patients who can receive fertility treatment. They want to cut it off at the big 5-0. Some women are saying it's a human rights abuse, but doctors focus on a slew of health issues related to children born to increasingly older parents, like premature birth, low birth weight, and abnormalities. Similarly, there have been studies recently linking autism to older fathers. So they say it's really about the kid's health. But there are social factors like, do you really want a teenager at the age of 75? Golden years, my butt. Now on to the gentlemen. We can all thank science for advising you men, for the sake of your little swimmers, to avoid tight constrictive trousers. But it turns out bad fashion may not be the only way you're turning up the heat on your sperm. There's cars. Heated car seats that keep your tush warm in winter also keep your other nether bits toasty, up to 3 degrees toastier than the healthy 35 degrees Celsius. A doctor presenting these findings at a recent fertility conference says this could be worse than tiny tight trousers. But I doubt it. But not everyone's concerned about having more babies. As we all know, the government in China definitely wants fewer, and their one-child policy has been quite controversial. Chinese couples have long been at work trying to optimize their one allocated child. Sadly, this has often meant the abortion or infanticide of girls, but now couples are turning to hormone treatment to try to get more bang for their birth. Healthy women are gobbling up clomiphene citrate, a hormone which increases the chances of having twins or triplets, since these are not penalized by the government's policy, and since this also increases the chance of getting a boy. Though it's prescription only, the treatment's actually readily available to women who want to change their brain chemistry to release more eggs and eventually increase their chances of ovarian cancer and cysts. All for only 50 cents a month! The quest to find a way to have babies is nothing new, and neither is the quest to find a way not to have them. And last year, the largest ever exhibit on the history of contraception was donated by a Dr. Percy Kai to the Dittrich Medical History Center at Case Western University. It contains over 600 objects. Here's what the good doctor had to say about it.
And once you get people who are motivated, then they become very creative, because they didn't have the luxury of being able to go into a pharmacy or go see a doctor and just get an item. They had to use what was available around them at that time. And I'm thinking 2,000–3,000 years ago. And so it's a story of human creativity.
Creative is one way of putting it. Did you know that ancient Egyptians used crocodile dung, and I'm not going to tell you how, or a douche of honey and sodium bicarbonate? That Aristotle reported that in Crete, homosexuality was officially supported as a means of population control? That early condoms were purportedly used by King Charles II to avoid having illegitimate children, who tend to throw a kink into successions and whatnot? And from the very old to the very new, not in contraception, but contraptions, and doodads and gizmos for obsessing over babies. Emma is the name of a concept smartphone designed by Hyung Won, which doubles as an ultrasound device. With it, a woman can really obsess over being pregnant and capture, quote, fetus video, pictures, heartbeat sounds, and tangible movements, and post them directly to her blog. Awesome. Have you seen the latest 83 pictures of my baby? Torture can begin before the kids even popped out. Way to go, Hyung Won. That's all for today, but until next time, remember, if you don't happen to have a condom on hand, there's always dried beaver testicle tea, which worked well for the native Canadians, apparently.